This year, Cyberpunk 2077 will finally be getting a complete overhaul to the police system. This news is not new, in fact it's 4 months old, but with Phantom Liberty being so irresistible and the subsequent 1.7 update that naturally comes bundled with this, it's safe to assume that this upgrade will be with us shortly. And look, I know that's a loose term, but shortly. Let's talk about what we have been told officially by CD Projekt Red and how we can interpret this information to work out some bits and bobs. So if this kind of video sounds like your cup of tea, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It would really make my day, thank you. So let's state the obvious. Cyberpunk 2077's police system is still an absolute joke, even in 2023. This system is barely functional, tacked on, and still not up to scratch, bordering 3 years since the game's release. The system has had changes made to it since 2020, but nothing so far has changed the fact that a wanted level is unfair, downright boring, and ultimately pointless. According to CDPR, however, this will all be a mere bad dream in an upcoming update, presumed to be the next update, which is 1.7. In the Edge Runners specials of Night City Wire, Cyberpunk's game director is interviewed about upcoming changes to the game, and this is where we get confirmation on a police overhaul. Gabe says, "We're overhauling some systems and laying the groundwork for future stuff. Hugely requested feature from the community is coming up, and that is a complete overhaul of the cop system. It gives you a whole new feel and dimension and immersion to the city. Really excited about it, and watch out for MaxTac. We're doing a bunch of stuff in future updates." So, in the flesh and blood, we know that Cyberpunk's police force is getting the attention they so desperately require. So, in theory, right, let's pull out the S word, let's get it out of the prison cell. Well, for a start, I think it's pretty safe to assume that police will now engage in car chases and likely not despawn as a result of the player driving too fast. Fuck me. That's embarrassing to say out loud, but like, that has to be the bare minimum. Surely, with this in place, there is now an actual gameplay loop and purpose to the wanted system. Maybe I won't avoid it like the plague anymore. Secondly, police may actually pull up to a scene in cars or on foot instead of just spawning in the open and suddenly being, gaining consciousness, like, shit, where am I? To see a convoy of NCPD Donnies razzing down the street towards the player would be an extremely immersive experience and make the city feel more lived in. Remember what Gabe said, that this will give us a whole new feel and dimension of immersion? Well, that's a pretty seductive sentence, I can't lie to you. Gabe, you have my attention. And look, Gabe could, of course, just be talking about the previously mentioned basics, because in reality, that is hugely immersive over what we currently have. But maybe, Gabe is suggesting something even crazier. For me, personally, the NCPD can't be entirely clean. They're the goddamn police force for Night City. You'd expect some of them to be a little bit dodgy. CDPR implementing some systems such as bribing officers, maybe even a Lester sort of mechanic whereby you can pay someone to disable their tracking systems, would probably help gameplay variety as well as being law friendly. Maybe if you even have enough street cred, the NCPD will let you off for minor crimes, sort of like in Skyrim, when you're Whiterun's bitch. Even better, if you're jacked up on cyberware and street cred, maybe the NCPD are just straight up terrified of you and won't bother engaging. Instead, they'll just go straight to MaxTac, which is a compliment in some way, but also a great pain in my ass. Talking of MaxTac as well, I made a whole other video looking at the probability of MaxTac being overhauled, which is essentially confirmed as well in this quote from Gabe. So I won't go into too much detail about that. I would recommend you check out the video for yourself. I'll link it in the description. But essentially MaxTac is, the scariest sense of authority in the Cyberpunk universe, in terms of the law at least, not a corporation. So MaxTac have to be intimidating intimidating, they have to have authority, and they have to make you soil your pantaloons. So that's what I think on the matter. This is what I expect from an NCPD update, you know, the absolute bare minimum. Then again, you know, CDPR are not famous for gassing things up, and to have the games director sit there with a fat smile on his face, essentially, you know, wriggling with excitement in his seat is enough to make a grown man cry. Alright, so thank you very much for watching, guys, but what do you think on the matter? Please do let me know in the comment section of the video. I just want to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and as always, if you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like on it. Cheers for watching, guys, and as always, I will catch you lot in a bit.